What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So, season 6 is here in Go Battle League, and we're going to kick things off with some Gen 6 spice. Now, Gen 6 has also been released in Pokemon Go over the past couple of days, and it is my absolute favorite generation of all time, probably even more than Generation 1. And that's mainly because of Ash Greninja, Mega Evolutions, and the Kalos region in general. It's just my absolute personal favorite, which is why I decided to try out Meowstic in the Great League. Now, Esper was the first Gen 6 Pokemon to be released in the game. It was released in raids on December 1st, and I decided to do a bunch of raids and then also invested a few rare candies into it to basically unlock the second move on it because I just couldn't wait. I mean, I've been saving up all my resources for this moment. I've been waiting for Gen 6 to be released since day one of when the game came out like 4 years ago, and I'm just gonna go all out on it. I can't wait to invest in Ash Greninja, Delphox, Chestnut, etc. But for now, we're gonna try out female Meowstic in the Great League. Now there are obviously two forms. There's the male and the female forms of it, and the female is obviously slightly higher ranked than the male one. And this one has a pretty solid moveset. It has Confusion, Psychic, and Shadow Ball, and it's actually pretty tanky. I mean, I was actually surprised at how well it actually ended up performing, and I decided to run it alongside Azumarill and Registeel. Yeah, it's a pretty solid meta core, and that's because I wanted to provide it a little more cushion, especially when you're trying out new Pokemon. It always helps to sort of pair it alongside the Azumarill Registeel core, right? And like I said, again, I'm going to be showcasing some of the best battles from the first few sets of battles that I did on day one. And like I said, there were some really exciting battles in there. So let's just get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here. I'm going to be leading with Azumarill, with Meowstic and Registeel in the back. And we're going to be starting with some rank 1 battles and then moving into some rank 3 and rank 4 battles as well. So we have an Azumarill into a Skarmory, obviously a pretty neutral matchup. Again, typically in this matchup, I like to go straight for the Hydro Pump because I either want to get the shield or get off massive damage. And it's also Steel Wing Skarmory, so it's going to take them a little longer to get their charge moves off. They're going to go for the Sky Attack here, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump here. It's going to do about 50 to 60% of a Skarmory's health if it goes unshielded. It does get the shield there, which is fantastic. And now I'm going to try and hopefully get off this Ice Beam before they can get to another charge move. Unfortunately, we lose CMP there, so it's fine. I'm going to let it go through because I like to save 2 shields towards endgame, especially for my Meowstic. So I'm going to actually come in with Registeel because Registeel completely walls Skarmory. And then again, because Steel Wing doesn't generate energy that quickly, we're able to get to a Focus Blast first. And this is probably going to take out Skarmory if it goes unshielded. It does get the shield, which is fantastic. They have no more shields right now. They make a switch into their Hariyama. This is fantastic. I'm going to come in with Meowstic here. And then again, these confusions are doing super effective damage because of that fighting typing on Hariyama. And I can basically fast move farm it down, right? So I'm just going to completely confusion this Hariyama down, and then I'm expecting this Skarmory to come back in, so I'm going to go throw the Shadow Ball immediately here, and this is probably a CMP tie because they had a lot of loaded energy as well. I'm hoping this KOs the Skarmory. Unfortunately, it doesn't take it out. They survive with like 1 HP and they're able to get off a charge move, so I'm definitely going to shield this, and then I'm hoping that whatever is in the back is weak to my Meowstic, and they have an Alolan Raichu in the back. Fantastic, right? We have access to Shadow Ball, and of course Shadow Ball is super effective because of the Psychic typing on Alolan Raichu, and should just one-shot it here. So, yeah, pretty solid. I mean, Meowstic basically swept towards endgame there, pretty much fast move farmed the whole Hariyama down. Then, of course, got rid of Skarmory, and then, of course, the full health Alolan Raichu in the back, and it can be pretty destructive towards endgame. So, let's move into some rank 3 battles here because the rest of the rank 1 and rank 2 battles were pretty straightforward. So, we met with the Galarian Stunfisk. They make a switch into their Ferrothorn, so I go into Registeel here, and this is obviously very favorable because, again, Registeel completely walls Ferrothorn, I mean, except for Thunder, obviously, but looks like they're not running Thunder. They're probably running Flash Cannon and Power Whip, so I'm going to go for the Focus Blast here. This is probably going to come close to one-shotting it. Doesn't quite one-shot it because of the nerf to Focus Blasts, but this is perfect, right? Now this Ferrothorn is in perfect lock-on farm-down range, which is really good for Registeel here, so I'm just going to completely lock-on farm this Ferrothorn down, and then expecting the Galarian Stunfisk to come back in. It does come back in again, going for the Focus Blast here. This is obviously going to hit for super effective because of that steel typing, and should probably get the shield here, and it does get the shield, which is fine. And I'm going to let this go through. I mean, they're basically going to need an Earthquake to get rid of us. If they're going to bait with Rock Slide, it's fantastic because we should be able to get to another charge move if they don't throw another charge move right now. And yeah, they realized that I probably could have gotten to a Focus Blast, so they're going to throw another Rock Slide here, which is fantastic, because as long as we maintain switch advantage, we should be good here. So I'm going to obviously come back in with Azumarill, and they make a switch into their Crobat, and this is fantastic, right? Again, another really favorable matchup for us, because again, these confusions are hitting for super effective, because of that poison typing on Crobat, and again, we can completely fast move farm this thing down, and I'm going to obviously shield this up, and then completely farm it down here, and then hopefully get off Shadow Ball onto the Galarian Stunfisk. And yeah, just gonna go for the Shadow Ball here again because Meowstic is relatively new. They're not probably gonna be aware of what moveset we have, so which is why they probably ended up shielding that, which is really good for us. And again, I'm just going to let this go through, right? Because Rock Slide is not going to take it out. Again, Meowstic is pretty tanky. I mean, it's not glassy by any stretch of imagination. And Mud Shot is definitely not doing enough damage. As you can see here, we're able to get to another Shadow Ball here, which is really fantastic. So again, going to go for the Shadow Ball. It's going to do about 40% of Galarian Stunfisk's health. And then we go down, which is fine. And we have an Ice Beam ready to go on the Azumarill. And I'm going to shield this up. Probably don't have to, but I'm just going to, play it safe anyways, and then just go for the Ice Beam here. Obviously, landing that Shadow Ball meant that, it put the Galarian Stunfisk into Ice Beam range, which is definitely going to take it out and pretty much take the win there. So, as you can see, I mean, Meowstic again put in the work, got rid of the Crobat, got a shield from the Galarian Stunfisk, and also managed to land a Shadow Ball on it, which is pretty significant. I mean, it's definitely putting in work for me. So, moving into the next battle here, we have Azumarill into an Altaria. The best case scenario. You cannot ask for a better lead here. They're still staying in. And I'm expecting them to probably switch on the Ice Beam. So I'm not going to throw immediately. They're going to go for the Sky Attack here, which is fine. And I'm going to let the first one go through. And then I'm going to overfarm a little bit just to make sure they don't switch out. And the fact that they're not switching out tells me that they have something else in the back, which is also weak to Azumarill. And then I'm going to go for the Ice Beam here. Obviously, double super effective because of the Dragon Flying typing. And they do shield that. And then they're going to get off another Sky Attack here, which is fine. This is not going to take us out. We can definitely let it go through. And I'm just going to overfarm a little bit to make sure they don't switch out again. Then I'm going to go for the Ice Beam here. This is probably going to get the second shield from the Altaria. And then, yeah, it's fine. So they're probably going to farm us down at this point, but it's fine. Even though we've lost switch advantage, we have a 2 shield advantage, which can be pretty significant, right? So obviously going to come in with Registeel here because Registeel completely walls Altaria. But even though it walls Altaria, Dragon Breath still does quite a bit of damage. So we're going to go for the Flash Cannon here. And then, yeah, this is probably going to do about 30 to 40% of Altaria's health. I mean, we've seen these matchups a number of times, haven't we? So, yeah, I'm just going to go completely lock on, farm this Altaria down. Again, we're going to take a lot of damage from these Dragon Breaths, but I'm going to aggressively farm this Altaria down and then hopefully have over 100 energy while coming out of this matchup. So, I'm going to completely farm it down here. My Registeel is very, very low right now. And let's see what they have in the back. They have an Azumarill. So, going to immediately for the Flash Cannon. And then as soon as I land this Flash Cannon, I'm going to switch into my Meowstic to make sure they don't farm us down. So I'm going to immediately switch into my Meowstic here, and then let's see what they decided. They're still staying in. So they're probably going to throw a charge move right now. Absolutely going to shield this because, again, Meowstic is basically my only, my only hope in this matchup. So I'm going to overfarm a little bit and then throw the Psychic just before they can get to another Ice Beam here. Now the Psychic is obviously going to take out the Azumarill from this range. And let's see what they have in the back. They have a Skarmory in the back. So this is not a great situation because these confusions are resisted. So obviously going to go for the Shadow Ball here. It's going to do about 30 to 40% of Skarmory's health. That's about 40% of its health, which is pretty significant. Again, it's a Steel Wing Skarmory, so we're taking a lot of damage here. And they decided to throw a charge move, which is smart of them because we were almost at a Psychic. So it's going to take us out. I'm not going to actually shield this. I'm going to let it go through. And then I'm obviously going to come in with Registeel. Again, Registeel is just so tanky that I'm able to get to a Focus Blast here. And this is definitely going to take out this Skarmory. Probably could have gone for the Flash Cannon, but just wanted to play it safe and go for the Focus Blast to basically take the win there. So, yeah, pretty close matchup actually. I mean, Skarmory in the back especially, I mean, in the 1-0 shield, it can be pretty close. But luckily, we still had a little bit of health on Registeel to basically take it out there. So, moving into the next battle here, we have an Azumarill into a Toxicroak. Again, a pretty decent matchup actually. I mean, do have to watch out for Sludge Bomb. But I'm hoping that I can get a shield here. So I'm going to go for the Ice Beam right now. And of course, Toxicroak is extremely glassy. So I'm hoping that I can get a shield. So if they shield, I'm not going to shield because we have a Meowstic in the back. And of course, Toxicroak is double weak to Psychic because of the Fighting Poison typing. And yeah, Sludge Bomb is also going to hit for super effective because of that Fairy typing. And I'm hoping that I can get to an Ice Beam because these counters are not doing enough damage. Unfortunately, we lose CMP there, so I'm actually going to shield this because I don't want to waste all this loaded energy. And I'm hoping that I can land this and win switch advantage, which can be pretty crucial in certain situations. So I'm going to go for the Ice Beam here. They let it go through, which is fantastic. They actually come in with Jirachi. This is perfect, right? This is exactly why I wanted to maintain switch advantage because now Registeel completely walls Jirachi because everything Jirachi has is resisted by Registeel. And then, yeah, it's probably just going to be a Doom Desire here. It's going to take them like multiple Doom Desires to get rid of us. So I'm going to overfarm a little bit and then throw the Focus Blast right now, which is going to hit for neutral because of the Psychic and Steel typing. And yeah, just almost comes close to taking it out there. It's probably just in Flash Cannon range right now. and just gonna let it go through, and then yeah, gonna get to this flash cannon as quickly as possible here, and it's probably gonna take out the Jirachi if it goes unshielded. And I'm really hoping that whatever is in the back is weak to my Meowstic. So they actually let that go through, and let's see what they have in the back. They have an Altaria in the back. So this is not a great situation. I'm hoping that I can get a shield out of them. Hopefully, luckily we're able to get to a flash cannon here. I'm hoping that this gets the shield. It does get the shield. So I'm immediately going to switch into my Meowstic. And this is not a great situation because this Altaria has a lot of loaded energy, right? And of course, Dragon Breath is just going to really do a lot of damage in this matchup. And I'm really trying to get to a Psychic right now. But like I said, they have so much loaded energy. They're able to get to another Sky Attack here. And again, this is where Meowstic's spankiness comes into play. Sky Attack is not going to take us out. And I'm able to get to a Psychic here. This is probably going to come close to taking out Altaria. Unfortunately, I don't get the Excellent there. I was kind of nervous there. But yeah, luckily they get the defense drop. And one Confusion should pretty much take it out there. So yeah, that was actually pretty difficult. I mean, it's a good thing that, Meowstic... Sky Attack does about 40% of Meowstic's health, which is not bad. I mean, a lot of times when you try out these new Pokemon, they take a lot of neutral damage from, a lot of neutral matchups. So let's move into the next battle here. We have Azumarill into a Skarmory. These are actually some rank 4 battles. It got a lot more competitive. And this is actually one of those battles where I actually made a key mistake, as you'll see right now. So they actually go for the Sky Attack, and I'm actually going to build up to Hydro Pump and bait with Ice Beam. So this is where I made the mistake here. Typically in the Azumarill Skarmory matchup, you always want to go for the Hydro Pump because if they don't shield, they can potentially win the zero shield scenario, right? I don't plan to invest any shields in this matchup because I definitely want to save my shields towards endgame. So I'm actually going to let it go through and then go for the Ice Beam and hope that this KOs the Skarmory. And in hindsight, I probably could have built up to a Hydro Pump and then gone for it, but I didn't know if I could survive long enough to get there. So going to go for the Ice Beam here. Unfortunately, it doesn't take it out. They're probably going to win switch advantage right now, which is not great. Again, if I had landed the Hydro Pump initially, then, I could have won switch advantage here. This is not a great situation because they come into Shadow Machamp. I'm going to switch into my Meowstic and they come into the Azumarill, right? So this is not a great matchup. Once again, I would have preferred my Meowstic to go up against their Shadow Machamp and then my Registeel to go up against their Azumarill. So gonna go for the Shadow Ball. This is again where I make another key mistake. I'm not sure why I went for the Shadow Ball. Should have gone for Psychic, obviously, because again, both would hit for neutral. And of course, Psychic is obviously a little more energy efficient considering that it has Stab on it as well. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna try and Confusion this Azumarill down. And yeah, definitely going to shield this because again, Ice Beam would come close to taking us out and I don't want to take any additional damage in this matchup. So going to go completely Confusion down and then I'm going to go for the Psychic right now. I'm hoping that this gets the defense drop onto the Shadow Machamp. They have basically 2 shields left. And then, yeah, this is where I make another mistake. I probably should have switched out right now to basically catch the charge move because again, they still have 1 shield left and Registeel with a shield disadvantage really can't do much against a Shadow Machamp, right? So again, this is not a great situation to be in because Lock On is doing no damage whatsoever. And then, yeah, they're going to go for this Cross Chop here, which is going to hit for super effective. But they actually go for the Rock Slide. It's probably a single move Shadow Machamp, which is fine. But it's still it's just GG's, right? Because they still had a shield as well. So there's no way that I could have got to 2 Flash Cannons there. So definitely should have switched out to catch the Rock Slide onto my Registeel. That probably was a win condition there, but they could have farmed us down and gotten off a charge move onto my Meowstic as well, right? So that's actually one of the few losses that I had in the first few sets of battles there. But let's move into the next battle. This is actually one of the closest battles of the set, of the day basically. So we have a Azumarill into a Sunny Cherrim. Not a great matchup again. So I'm going to go for the Ice Beam here. Typically most Cherrims shield because Ice Beam obviously it's super effective and Cherrim is extremely glassy. They do shield that, which is fantastic. And they are building up on quite a bit of energy. So I'm actually going to let it go through. If it's Solar Beam, it's fine. But the most Cherrims actually bait with Weather Ball, which is fantastic. We call the bait, which is really good for us right now. And at this point, they're probably going to go for the Solar Beam here. So I'm actually going to shield this. And then, yeah, it's actually a Dazzling Gleam. So that's pretty interesting. They're running Dazzling Gleam along with Weather Ball, which is fine. And then I'm going to go for the Ice Beam right now. And then this is probably going to get the second shield from the Sunny Cherrim, which is really good. And then, yeah, this is probably just going to be a Weather Ball because it was too soon to be a Dazzling Gleam. And I'm just actually going to let it go through and hoping that I can get to an Ice Beam here. And then unfortunately we're not able to. So this is a Weather Ball. We can survive it. But again, Bullet Seed is obviously hitting super effective, but because I don't want to risk it, I decided to shield that up anyways. But they make a really nice switch into their Whiscash to catch the Ice Beam, right? So this is not a great situation for us to be in. And this is where I make a mistake. I was trying to switch into my Meowstic, but I accidentally switched into my Registeel instead. And this is an absolutely terrible matchup because Registeel has a terrible matchup against Whiscash because it's going to be able to spam those Mud Bombs like crazy, and then Focus Blast is not going to take it out from this range, right? Again, Whiscash is pretty tanky. It's not like Swampert, so yeah, it's going to come close to taking it out, but again, Lock On is not doing enough damage to basically sort of get rid of it. and another Mud Bomb coming through. It's going to come take us pretty low. And then, like I said, we're not going to be able to lock on farm down here. They're going to get to another Mud Bomb, and they're probably going to take us out. And this is not a great situation to be in, right? Because now it's basically up to Meowstic to sweep endgame. Azumarill basically has no health left. And I don't really even know what they have in the back. So again, I'm going to come in with Meowstic here and then Confusion this Whiscash down. And then let's see what they have in the back. They have a Skarmory in the back. So this is not a great situation to be in. So obviously going to go for the Shadow Ball in this matchup. And it's a Steel Wing Skarmory, which is a pretty good thing because it's not going to generate energy that quickly. But then again, it's doing a lot of damage as well. So I'm going to try and switch into my Azumarill to catch the charge move here, which I'm able to. And this is probably going to be a Sky Attack, which is going to take out my Azumarill from this range. And they still have a decent amount of health on Sunny Cherrim in the back as well, right? They actually make a switch into their Cherrim, and my only win condition here is to completely farm it down. I'm hoping that my Meowstic can survive this Weather Ball, which we're able to barely, and then I'm able to Confusion this Cherrim down, and luckily we have a Shadow Ball ready to go, and immediately going to throw the Shadow Ball onto this Skarmory here, and it's definitely going to take out the Skarmory from this range. They're extremely close there, but that was basically my only win condition, to farm the Cherrim down, then get rid of that Skarmory. But yeah, overall, yeah, that's going to be probably the final battle of the video. You know, like I said, there were a lot of pretty straightforward battles as you expect in some of the lower ranks, but there was some really competitive battles in there as well, right? We went up against some really sort of top level battlers, and yeah, Meowstic out, I certainly have to say, definitely put in a lot of work. You know, it's tanky, it's got a really amazing moveset, and honestly, it actually ended up working really well for me, especially in this particular team comp. And I'm super excited to try out other Gen 6 Pokemon as well. Probably going to be trying out Braixen or Delphox next. And yeah, still sort of looking for a decent IV Froakie so that I can try out Greninja. I'm super excited to try out Greninja, even though it's not very highly ranked on PvPoke. It's probably one of my absolute favorite Pokemon of all time. So please stay tuned for all of that. You know, I'll be trying to get out as many Gen 6 PvP videos this week as possible. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll see you tomorrow.